So, a few days ago, there was this chess grandmaster, which is the highest level of chess, if you don't know, um, who passed away very recently, very young. He was 29 years old. Um, his name was Daniel Naroditsky, which kind of hit for me because I used to watch his videos, and I'm terrible at chess, but I've had times where I took a slight interest in it, and I would watch his videos. I'd actually listen to his videos to fall asleep. Because I don't know. I guess I find it like calming or something. To just hear someone's voice and have the chess gameplay going on while I'm falling asleep. I had a phase where I was using that to help me fall asleep. But yeah, he died very young, and they have not disclosed his cause of death yet, or maybe they don't know. But people seem to believe that it seems to maybe be drug related or maybe possibly suicide. Um, and This happened right after someone who was a world champion at chess, Vladimir Kramnik, started to accuse Naroditsky, the man who passed away, of cheating, in chess online, repeatedly, essentially defaming him and questioning his character and making him out to be a bad person. And, you know, um, earlier this year, there was a man named Abdulaziz Al-Yami who was a top level player in 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 Super Smash Bros. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, um, who committed suicide. Um, well, scratch that. He attempted suicide by jumping in front of a train, and he lost his leg, and I believe those he lived for a couple more months, but I believe those health complications eventually led to his death. And the reason that he attempted suicide and ultimately succeeded was because he was banned and ostracized from the Super Smash Bros. Melee community for a long time. Um, and he was essentially painted as a dangerous person and a villain, all because he made one video a long time ago about some other player trying to call out that other player. Where, my understanding is that there were some kind of unhinged contents of those videos, but nothing that warranted a permanent ban or nothing that would point to the idea of him being dangerous or anything like that. He was a person who was just as, if not more, passionate about Melee than anyone else. And there's probably people watching this who are like, he killed himself over a video game? That's so stupid. Or he killed himself over chess? Like that's so dumb. And it's like, no, you're dumb because think about the single thing that you're most passionate about in life and the single thing that you would dedicate your entire life to. And now think about if that entire community um, accused you, defamed you, ostracized you, mistreated you, to the point where you couldn't do the one thing that you loved anymore. It's not about if it's a video game or if it's just a board game or whatever. It could be anything. Like, these two individuals dedicated their entire lives to melee and to chess. And they were people who were incredibly passionate, who inspired so many people, who were incredibly talented. They were both at the tippy top level. Um, and this is how their lives ended, because of lies that were spread, essentially, because of people who had it out for them in those communities. And I'm sitting here wondering, like, why is this world so cruel to people like that, who are good and are kind and are passionate and are not perfect, but no one is. um and yeah, it's just difficult to try to make any sense of this world sometimes. And last year, when I feel like I was at one of the lowest points in my life, um I mean, I was raised religious. I was raised Mormon until I was 16 years old. And then I stopped believing in God. I stopped going to church. I just left. I stopped believing in God completely, just atheist. And I've been atheist for the past 10 years, from when I was 16 years old until now. Um, and I still wonder um, if religion is just one massive cope because of the cruelty of this world. Like, I just can't make sense of, and I can't cope with this idea that the world is so incredibly cruel to people who are good. Um, and the world rewards people who are evil, who are pure evil. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, every every fucking billionaire basically. You know, fucking Logan and Jake Paul. I mean, I don't know much about them now, but they were always fucking massive pieces of shit as far as I'm aware. uh, you know, the list goes on and on and on. How many people have the easiest, most privileged possible lives, and they're just horrible, abusive human beings? And then you have people like this, Abdulaziz Al-Yami and Daniel Naroditsky, who never abused their power in cruel ways like that. And they were essentially bullied to their death in both cases for nothing, for no good reason. Um, and I wonder if religion is just a coping, is just a big, massive cope to. I mean, that's what I've thought for the past 10 years. If it's just a big, massive cope to try to make sense of this universe, which inherently makes no sense in my eyes. Um, and last year, when I was at my lowest, like, I started to reach out and try to clutch on to some idea a force in this universe that is beyond our understanding. I guess you would call it God, but my conception of God is not the same as most people's, but just some kind of force that ties this universe together and makes sense of it when it feels like there is no sense to be made. Um, Last year was the first time in 10 years that I prayed, because that's how desperate I was in the situation I was. And I did feel emotion when I prayed. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means anything. You know, I'm sure there's gonna be some people in these comments like, you just need Jesus, bro. Just come to Jesus. And it's like, I think too critically for that shit to solve anything. For me to just be like, oh, I have Jesus now, I'm better. Like, that doesn't work for me. Like, I have to actually have an understanding, have some understanding that feels like it is something beyond just cope, because it's unbearable to, like, a lot of times it feels unbearable to live in this world when it's like this, when it's just so incredibly unjust on every level. Like, we have a government that's fucking covering up for pedophiles on both sides. Don't go in the comments, make this a fucking Republican versus Democrat thing, like, oh, the Democrats didn't release the Epstein file. Shut the fuck up. It's both sides that are pure evil. Anyways, yeah, just some thoughts. Guess I got nothing else to say. Um, yeah, rest in peace to Hacks Money, Abdulaziz Al-Yami, and rest in peace to Daniel Naroditsky. And the cruelty stretches far beyond that, with Palestine, with Sudan, with Ukraine, with any other. There's probably many other places. The Uyghur genocide in China. There's probably many other places where horrible atrocities are going on in the world for no good reason. And this is just what humans do to each other. For what? Like, for what reason? Yeah. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the depressing video, but yeah.